talk if you let me talk. Kayode.
That's why more and more Lagosians are tuning in.
500,000 Lagosians.
720,000.
970,000.
Over 1 million Lagosians, they know that if you give me your afternoon, I will give you hard facts.
Well done, Sandra, all to going beyond the headlines and focusing on the facts.
I am Sandra Ezekwesili, and these are your hard facts.
First hard fact of the day, 157 COVID cases confirmed yesterday. 59, COVID cases confirmed yesterday. Lagos and Abuja each had 28. Looks like the third wave is dying down. But I always say that you should not let it catch you on its way out, especially when you think about the numbers from yesterday and what happened in Delta, and us getting data from as far back as July. So if we still have that amount of backlog, it makes you wonder, well, how many people are going untested at the moment? So do what you can to keep yourself safe. Wear your mask, keep your distance from people, wash your hands, sanitize your hands, and get vaccinated. That's our second hard fact. Vaccinations are ongoing. If you go to the primary healthcare center closest to you after registering on their website, you'll be able to get your shot. It's free of charge. Nobody's charging you anything to do it. For your second dose, and please make sure you go back for the second dose, because I get a lot of messages on social media of people telling me, oh, Sandra, I got I got the first dose, but I'm afraid of going for the second dose because the first dose showed me pepper, and I have to start like encouraging them and telling them, well, it's absolutely normal, and you'll find that, you know, after like 48 hours for some people, you know, you're back to normal, you know. So it's better to just get it done and make sure you get full protection, and the only way to get full protection is to get both doses. And I'm thankful I have an influence and some of them listen to me. It's great stuff. So please go and get vaccinated, okay? Log on to the website if you are in Lagos. In other parts of Nigeria, you just walk into the healthcare center and get your shot. But for Lagosians, you have to register online and then go to the primary healthcare center where you registered. Register at the primary healthcare center that is closest to you online. Then go to that one and get your shot. Now, if you sent us an audition to be part of the I Beg to Differ tournament, we want to let you know that we're almost done listening to all of them. We've got hundreds of entries, and it's so difficult trimming the hundreds of entries into a sizable amount that can compete on air. So we're almost done with it. We're down to the last, I think, 50. We're down to the last 50. Hopefully, by the end of this week, we should know who will be doing the live rounds here on Nigeria Info. It's been so difficult because, my God, the kids who auditioned for this thing, Chineke, God of Africa. I mean, we even had a 10-year-old who auditioned, and this 10-year-old was fire. It's just that, you know, you're 10 years old, so you're too young. And then we had 11-year-olds. Some of the 11-year-olds may actually make it into the live round, even though the entry was for 13-year-olds. But some of the 11-year-olds were so brilliant that you have to experience them, Lagos. Like, you have to see these kids. So we're taking our time. We're making sure that we select the best of the best so that it's a fair fight. And whoever wins the 1 million naira at the end of the day, you look at them and you're like, okay, you deserve to win them. You know what I'm saying? So we crave your indulgence to please be patient with us as we take our time to give you a fantastic show. That's what we do every day on Hard Facts. We'll start today's Big 3 with Pencom. They're going after employers who deduct pension payments from employees' paychecks without filing them. If this is happening at your organization, I'd like to hear about it. Then we're going to talk about worries that IPOB's sit-at-home order may affect election turnout in Anambra. That will be our second story. And then let's talk about the presidency saying that 22 state governors have applied to join the National Livestock Transformation Program. We'll take a look at that as well. That's our final story. Today's Wednesday. On the glass ceiling, let's talk about domestic violence and income. October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. And I found this study from Australia. that says that when a woman starts making more money than her husband, the likelihood of him physically assaulting her increases. So we'll look at whether this rings true in our Nigerian experience and what the possible factors could be. I'm looking forward to this conversation. It kicks off at 4 o'clock. On Balogun and Broad, it's a Wednesday, so our business segment is back. Let's talk about the bakery business again. Bakers in Lagos have decided to raise the price of bread because flour is more expensive. It's the realest business show on radio, and that's part of why you've made Hard Facts the number one current affairs show in the city. 1 million negotiations cannot be wrong. I always say that. Thank you so much for tuning in every day. As usual, headlines will come your way. Business, sports, updates, all of that coming your way. After the news at 6, we've got Lagosa at 6:15, and after Lagosa at 6:15, we have Let's Talk from Voice of America taking the air. But let's bring you the big three, shall we? I'm Sandra Ezekwesili, Lagos, and these are your Hard Facts.
This is the Big Three.
The Big Three on Hard Facts.
On 99.3 Nigeria Info.
Does your employer remit your pension deductions to your PFA? Your employer, do they remit your pensions deductions to your PFA? Will the sit-at-home threat reduce voter turnout in Anambra? And is setting up cattle ranches a good use of government funds? Those are your big three. Lagos, let's talk. In the first 6 months of the year, Pencom recovered 1 billion naira in pension deductions diverted by employers. That's our first story. Pencom is the Nigeria Pension Commission. They regulate all pension matters in the country, and your employer deducts some money from your paycheck every month for pensions. They're supposed to send that money to your PFA, your pension fund administrator, to put it in your pensions account. That's the money that entitles you to a gratuity when you retire and regular pension payments after that. Now, whether or not those pension payments are going to be enough for you when you retire, that's a different story, right? Part of the problem is that the naira is losing value generally due to devaluation and inflation. And so by the time you retire, the money that you put away 20, 30 years ago is not as valuable as it was. I was having a conversation with someone who was earning 600,000 naira in 2011, 2013. And it was a lot of money back then. Today, he's earning 600,000 naira again, and it barely does anything for him. That's what he says to me. So it's the same thing, with the pensions. So, you're saving this money years and years ago. But as long as the value of the naira continues to shrink, it means the value of your pensions also continue to shrink. But back to this remittance issue, because like I said, the value of the pension itself, that's a different topic for a different day. What we're talking about right now is Pencom saying that some companies, after deducting that money from your salary, don't send it to the PFA. They just pocket it. That's illegal. That's one of Pencom's jobs, to find out which employers are doing this and recover that money from them. And they're saying that in the first 3 months of the year, they recovered 608 million naira. In the second quarter, they recovered 398 million naira. So combined, what they recovered from January to June is 1.006 billion naira. They also said that they've recommended 19 employers for legal action. Every time we have this conversation, some people call me and they say, oh, my employers are deducting the money, but they're not remitting it to. I'm not getting any message from any pension fund administrator. I always say to them, well, report to Pencom. But we don't really like to report. We don't really like to snitch. And I don't know why. We don't have a culture of snitching, of whistleblowing. And we need to, because that's how the society gets better. Because if you pause and think about this, there are employers who tell you they are deducting money for your pension and they simply refuse to put it where it's supposed to be. This 1 billion naira is the one that Pencom has recovered this year. The question is, how much is still unrecovered this year alone? How many other employers are getting away with this right now? How many of them calling to complain about politicians and the budget? Are they getting away with this right now? Are you a victim of this right now? Do you know who your PFA is? Do you know your RSA number? That's your retirement savings account number. Do you know it? Do you have it? Do you get statements from your pension fund administrator? Because these are the safeguards that you have to make sure that your employer is not ripping you off. To make sure that your pension deduction is being kept safe for you. So that when you retire, if you're alive by the time you retire, you're getting small money to keep body and soul together. Whether or not the money that you're getting makes sense or not, that's a different conversation for a different day. But the money where they deduct from your salary, say na for pension, they remit them. 1 billion naira. What do you think about employers diverting that in pensions deductions? Ooh. Women, call me on 01465 7190. 01465 7190. Men, call me on 0700 993 993 993. 0700 993 993 993. Of course, we've got WhatsApp. WhatsApp is 080 959 75805. And there is Facebook, who is streaming live. Facebook is Nigeria Info 99.3. We also have YouTube. YouTube is Nigeria Info FM. Let's talk to Ken in Bagada. Hi, Ken. Thanks for calling us.
Yeah, good afternoon, Sandra.
Good afternoon. You've got 60 seconds.
Yeah, I want to just say, see, this upcoming election, you will hear that just 2 or 3 days before this election, they will cancel it and reschedule it because these people, IPOB, who doesn't know them, is the only person that will be playing with their tests. And I believe that 30% of voters in the South, in fact, let me stop here, but you will see that they will cancel this election. IPOB will never allow this election to hold. Mark my word.
Okay, so is this something you support or not? All right, Ken in Bagada, thank you very much for calling us. 99.3, hello.
Hello, Sandra. Good afternoon.
Good
My
afternoon.
name is Joseph.
Hi, Joseph.
Yeah, I'm calling from Ibeko.
Welcome. You've got 60 seconds.
Yes, yeah. Sandra, I'm a first-time caller on the show, but long-time listener.
Okay.
Yeah. So, Sandra, pertaining this question, I have documents. Since I joined this, it's a leasing company for 2 years now.
Okay.
I've been deducting this pension, but I have not been remitting it. Even plus, I have the document plus the housing something. Although I've left the company because they terminated my appointment.
Okay.
But when I asked of it, they said they are going to pay it. But
Okay.
I saw yesterday, because I went to my pension administration 2 days ago to ask if they have paid it. They say no, they have not seen anything like that. So I have to write the company again. And that's yesterday, I saw that they paid 6 months out of the 2 years.
2 years, okay.
They now pay because I contribute 2,000 plus, they contribute 1,000 plus, so it's like 4,816. So they now paid only 6 months, which is 28,000 plus.
No, they need to pay you for as long as you worked for them. They can't pay just 6 months and stop. They need to pay for every month you worked with them.
Yes, Sandra, because I don't have anybody. Even they collect housing something. I was listening to your last show, housing something and all that, which they are not even
remitting as well. So for this pension one, what you can do is go to the Pencom website. You can get in touch with them. They have a form there. Fill it out and then talk about all these things that you have said to me, and all of that. They have their phone numbers all available on their website. Their website is pencom.gov.ng. Okay?
Okay.
pencom.gov.ng. Yes. All right. Thank you so much.
I'm very grateful.
Yes.
I like your program so much.
Thank you. Thank you for calling today. We appreciate it. Uchechi is in Aja. Hi, Uchechi.
Good afternoon, Sandra.
Good afternoon. Welcome.
Okay, my story is similar to the man that just called you.
Okay.
I worked with a very well-known entertainment industry
Okay.
for over 4 to 5 years.
Okay.
And the thing was, I didn't even know I was supposed to be checking on because I wasn't getting the alert for retention, remitters and all that. So that's why I stopped working and I said, let me go and check. And they told me it's just 50,000 naira that was right there.
Okay.
So that means from 2010 till 2013 I left. They were not paying.
No, you have to report to info@pencom.gov.ng. That's their email. info@pencom.gov.ng.
Okay.
Thank you, Chechi, for calling us. Lagos, the numbers to call are 0700-993-993-993. If you're a woman, if you're a man. If you're a woman, 01465-7190. What do you think about employers diverting 1 billion naira in pensions deductions? That's what Pencom says they recovered within the first 6 months of this year. Are you a victim of this? Do you know who your pension fund administrator is? Do you know your retirement savings account number? Do you even have a retirement savings account number? Do you get your statements from your pension fund administrator? Elijah at Satellite Town is on the line. Hello, Elijah.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Good to have you on the show.
Yeah, my name is Mr. Elijah. You see, these Igbo people are normally say when I listen to this program, because I've been with this station for so many years. This is my first time getting the station.
Okay.
Many of us make a mistake because some of we young men or young boys will be talking about something, fighting the government or this. You can't fight the government. One thing, whether you like it or not, when you said, this thing, agitator of this Biafra of a thing, Biafra of a thing is not calling the 5 regions, say you want to go, you want to do this. We have been hearing, like the late fella, we hear about fella now. Most of us, we hear about fella when he's saying corruption. How long this corruption has been there? Most of us, we listen about fella music, we hear about him saying about corruption. Today corruption started. So my stake is, the Igbo should not be using this thing as something that they can do, and they can say they want to do this. But they should have one thing in mind, that you can't fight government, whether you like it or not.
All right. Thanks for calling. Remember, everybody gets 60 seconds. It's 3:23 right now. You're listening to the Big Three on Hard Facts. We start the show at 3 o'clock with 3 of the biggest stories of the day. Patrick is in Bagada. Say Badaga. 99.3. Hello.
Hello.
Thank you for calling.
Yeah, good afternoon. This is Akibe from Festa.
Welcome.
I want you to know, or explain further. This pension, that is the responsibility to analyze the money to their owner. What about the labor? So they are only just interested in the percentage given to the labor for the worker. They don't look after, they don't take care of with the source by which they are making their money. And I believe it is a responsibility of the labor to have a delegate or representative to check whether all the companies that are liable to PECON, whether the money they deduct from the worker are being paid into the PECON. So their own is just to get their own share without the responsibility. Then, for instance, in a civilized country, labor do not work for those who are getting money alone. They work for even the grassroots laborers. See, those that employ people individually, they work for them. They have a big office where a general labor, those that are not on the payroll, they build a place for them and they care for them. They talk to them there.
All right. Thank you, Ayibe, for calling us. 60 seconds for everybody. Hello. Hello.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Thank you for calling.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. What's your name?
Yes, it's not that some companies don't want to pay. Actually, where I was working before. Can you hear me?
Yes. Where you were working before?
Where I was working before, they actually own, they deduct every month, but they don't remit at all. For almost like how many years? Like 5 years before I left. They don't remit. But there was a time the PENCOM officials came to our office. We thought everything was going to be fine. But by the time they were going, just saw them with envelopes. Up to now, they've not done anything to it. So sometimes they bribe them anyway.
Okay.
They bribe them.
Okay.
So they don't do anything. The PENCOM officials, they were there in my organization before I left.
Right. So you're saying that some organizations, collaborate with the, connive with the PENCOM officials.
Yes. Yes.
Interesting stuff. Okay.
Yes.
Well, thank you for bringing that to our attention. But here's something that I found, especially with government organizations, right? Something may be happening in a particular region or in a particular branch or in a particular state, and those at the head office are not aware that it's going on because it's a vast organization, right? Now, by the time you blow whistle on a thing like that and you say, PENCOM officials came to my office to solve this problem, and when they were leaving, they received an envelope, allegedly, and nothing was done about it, head office will want to start investigating. That's what happens with Nigerian Immigration Service, happens with the NDLEA, happens with a lot of these organizations. Now, it doesn't happen with all of them. It doesn't happen sometimes. It depends on who is in charge, but it's worth a shot. What do you have to lose? So you can send an email to info@pencom.gov.ng. I'm Sandra Ezekwesili. We'll take a little break. When we come back, let's talk about IPOB, the elections in Anambra, and their sit-at-home order.
Adebowale Oludotun Nigeria Limited is a need for nationwide distributors for Canny Paper. Canny Paper is the newly upgraded high-quality household tissue paper made from imported raw wood pulp. Canny tissue paper is purely natural, created with high-quality products, delicate and impeccable in every detail, only worthy of your extraordinary taste. It can be used indoors, in the kitchen, outdoors, in the cars, and restaurants and bars. It can also be used as a sanitary towel for ladies in the case of an emergency, and it is totally safe to use for babies. Today, Adebowale Oludotun Nigeria Limited boasts of modern factories, world-class production equipment, industry-leading production technology, and high-quality raw materials. You can locate us at kilometer 14, Lagos-Abeokuta Expressway, opposite Obasanjo Farm. To be a distributor, please call Korede on 080-690-574170, 070-3068, or 080-5828-5090 for more information.
Welcome back to your number one talk, news, and sports station. This is Nigeria Info.
It's 3:28. I'm Sandra Ezekwesili. Sandra Ezekwesili on social media as well. All the social media platforms. Sandra Ezekwesili. Ohaneze Ndigbo is asking IPOB to lift its sit-at-home threat so that Anambra's Guber election can hold. That's our second story. You may know that IPOB has threatened that if Nnamdi Kanu is not released by November 4th, they'll lock down the southeast from November 5th to November 11th, and the Anambra election is, of course, on November 6th. So Haneza is worried about how this move will affect the election, as well as economic activity in Anambra and the southeast. We heard from Chiedozie Ogbonnia, the Ohaneze spokesperson. He appealed to IPOB to reverse the order. He said, quote, "The Ohaneze Ndigbo worldwide pleads with the indigenous people of Biafra to reconsider the 7 days sit-at-home order in the southeast of Nigeria from November 5 to November 11. This is to enable the governorship election for Anambra State scheduled for November 6 to hold." End quote. There you have it, Ohaneze pleading with IPOB. Again, we must point out, IPOB is not a government agency. In fact, IPOB is proscribed by the federal government as a terrorist organization. A lot of commentators are asking whether this move by Ohaneze is proof that the security agencies cannot prevent IPOB from carrying out their sit-at-home threat. If that's the case, Does this mean that security in the southeast is failing? Obonia also talked about something that I found interesting, something that Ohaneze thinks is a root cause of the crisis in the southeast. He said, quote, "It's important to point out that one of the causes of the crisis of confidence in the southeast is because of the yawning gap between the youth and indeed the masses on one side and the political leaders on the other," end quote. And I saw that and I thought to myself, well, Lagos, do you agree with Ohaneze about this? Are the political leaders in the southeast too far removed from everyday people and the pains of the everyday people? Is that one of the factors that creates a breeding ground for groups like IPOB? Do you think that this applies to other regions as well? Talk to me, 0700-993-993-993. What do you think about IPOB, Ohaneze pleading with IPOB to call off this sit-at-home nonsense? And this is just a few days after the Anambra government removed Monday from the school week. We talked about that one yesterday. 01465-7190-0700-993-993-993. Alex is on the line. Hello, Alex.
Hi, Sandra.
Thanks for calling.
Okay, so generally, I don't talk about IPOB and IPOB-related issues for personal reasons. I just don't want to go into it, but I'm tempted to talk about it today. You see, the truth is, the political leaders in Igbo land, let me just call it Igbo land,
okay,
cannot really wash their hands off their hands clean from what is happening in the East today. Okay. They are directly responsible. I know that many of the agitators will not want to put the blame at their doorstep for reasons best known to them. They don't want to out them, as it were. But they must take responsibility. You know what these people do?
What?
They mess up their constituencies to such a, when they are governors and all that, to such a point that once they leave office, the place is no longer comfortable for them to live in. They rush to Abuja for another office. And then they get a space. Once they allocate a small space for them in Abuja, they become permanent residents of Abuja. They will pay for it. No matter how what is happening there right now, all of these Igbos, no matter how much big a villa you have built for yourself in Abuja, they will all pay for it because they are directly responsible for the mayhem in the East right now.
Alex, thank you very much for calling us. Sam in Badagry, you've got 60 seconds.
Okay, Sandra, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Okay, I also want to use this opportunity to appeal to my brothers in the East, the IPOB. Please, let them give peace a chance. Let them call off this 7 days ultimatum so that there will be that election. It does not hinder them from carrying out their what they are pursuing for. Please, let them give them chance. Let them conduct the election. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. I'm looking from this comment here by Comfort. Comfort says, you can't tell me that IPOB is not working for the APC. That's the only reason that IPOB will be calling for election boycott. The only person that an election boycott will benefit in this situation would be the APC. That's a very strong thing to say. Well, Comfort, thank you very much for sending your message in via WhatsApp. Remember, WhatsApp is 080-959-75805. 99.3. Sorry about that. Looks like we can't get that comment. Okay, well, let's go to Facebook very quickly and take a look at the comments there. Kayode Samuel says, apart from the presidency and some other elements loyal to the presidency, it's not certain that IPOB is prescribed legally. Well, they're prescribed is that they're prescribed, and prescription is recognized by Nigerian law. The Nigerian government can prescribe any group. So there is legal proclamation. They're prescribed, period. That's a message from Kayode Samuel. We've got Michael Chinwaba says, Madam Sandra, equity and fear and fairness is needed. Okay, I don't know what you mean, but thank you very much. Let's see. 99.3. Hello. Sorry about that. Call back if you can. Hello. Hello.
Hello, good afternoon, Sandra.
Good afternoon, sir. What's your name?
This is Abimbola calling from Oshodi.
Welcome. You've got 60 seconds.
Yep. I just want to, it's more of appeal to both parties concerning the IPOB issue. On the side of the government,
Okay.
they must realize that though they have strength, they have all the power, but we normally say to learn to judge or than to war. If they come down to round table with this group, it's not a show of weakness, but it's a show of strength. If you have a number of children and one of them seems to be somehow, you won't, like the Yoruba says, which is to say, there's no how bad your child will be that you throw it up to a lion. Please, they know the players behind this set. Form a kind of would I call it arbitration panel now, or a kind of a mediator. Let's come to the round table and talk so that there will be peace for the sake of the oncoming generations. Everybody, we say that we are two relevant fights. The IPOB are causing a kind of a shortcomings in every aspect in that region. Federal government is showing their strength, but it is the people that are suffering all these things. They should just do something and let there be peace.
All right. Thank you, Abimbola, for calling. Moses in Isolo. Hello.
Yeah, how you doing?
Very well.
Look, the monster they reared has come to bite them in their behind.
Okay.
This appealing is to me nonsense. Appealing to a proscribed group. Anyway, a friend of mine just came back from the east. Anambra to be specific. Look, if they love themselves, let them not dare the might of the government. Let them not. The truth is they are doing nobody any good. I have friends across the nation with different ethnic backgrounds. You sell your things here in peace, you do your trade here in peace, nobody disturbs you. But others there, because of fear, they can't sell on Mondays and they are losing badly. And so they can't even relocate. So who's appealing to them? You're only begging a child you should deal with ruthlessly. The truth is, if they try the might, the nation will hold. It will take place. They are just cowards. If they are strong enough, let them come out and to whose interest are they doing this? A man that wanted the country burnt with all his incendiary talks? Who's happening to them? Let them try to stop the election and they will know that after God and government. Thank you.
All right, Moses. Thank you for your message. Anne is on the line. Hello, Anne.
Sandra, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Anne.
Yeah, people are saying that the government should dialogue with Nnamdi Kanu. If you want to dialogue, you dialogue with somebody who is sane. As far as I'm concerned, Nnamdi is not a sane human being. Have you listened to one of his broadcasts about the president? Nothing he has not said about this president. He said the president is dead. It's not the Buhari. It's a woman from Sudan. He's full of hate. So what is he going to dialogue with him? And besides, what he is standing trial for is treason. He wants to separate the Igbos from Nigeria. He wants what do they call it? Segregation. He wants to depart from Nigeria. It's not done that way. If you want that,
well,
that's not
that's not a treasonable action. To want self-determination, that's not treasonable. But
he called for chase all the Fulanis away from Igbo land. That's treasonable. The land belongs to everybody. Many Igbos are in northern part of Nigeria doing their business there. The northerners have not chased them out. They have houses there. They have businesses there. Why is he saying that they should chase all the houses and Fulanis out of Igbo land?
And thank you very much for calling. Remember, everybody gets 60 seconds. Now, of course, we can't exactly discuss whether or not, the treason argument against Nnamdi Kanu is valid or not valid because it's in court. We're going to let the courts decide whether he is guilty or not guilty of treason. We do know that the federal government has brought treason charges against the man. But, the conversation we're having is what you think about Ohanaeze pleading with IPOB to call off their sit-at-home threat so that the elections in Anambra can go ahead. Because it's a few days to the election and, Ohanaeze seems to be worried. Ohanes Ndigbo Worldwide said that they need to reconsider the 7-day sit-at-home order in the southeast that's supposed to start November 5 and end November 11. Election in Anambra is November 6. Let's talk to Comrade Ogbanago in Abulegba. Comrade, welcome.
Good afternoon, Sandra.
Good afternoon. Turn your radio off. You've got 60 seconds.
Comrade Ogbanago Mohammed Ibrahim calling.
Welcome.
Sandra, that election will hold.
Okay.
Hello?
I'm hearing you. The election will hold?
Yes. If they think they are superpower, the IPOB, they should dare the federal government come on the 6th of November. They'll now see, look, even if government is going to dialogue with anybody, that will...
Aw, Comrade, I want to go. Thank you very much for calling. Sorry about your airtime. All right, let's move to our final story. Yes, you can still talk about our first story with Pencom recovering 1 billion naira in pension deductions diverted by employees. You can also talk about Ohanese asking IPOB to lift their sit-at-home threat. Now, for our final story, the presidency says that 22 state governors have applied to include their states in the NLTP. That's our final story. NLTP is the National Livestock Transformation Program. It's meant to provide federal funding for states that want to improve herding, farming, and other agric activities. So, for example, states who join NLTP will get money to set up pilot ranches where herders can be trained to raise cows without moving around. And Andrew Kwasari, the president's senior special assistant on agriculture, said that 22 governors have applied to include their states in NLTP. Now, he did not tell us who all of them were, but he did say that by next week at least 2 states will get their money for setting up pilot ranches, Nasarawa and Plateau. Ekiti State says that they're not joining the NLTP, but instead they're building instead of building a pilot ranch from scratch, the state government will use the Ikun dairy farm. It already produces 10,000 liters of milk a day. And they are already in a joint venture with Promisador. So there's a joint venture arrangement between the state government, the Ekiti state government, and Promisador. And in that joint venture, they're, producing 10,000 liters of milk at the Ikun dairy farm. So that's why Ekiti says they're not joining an NLTP. So the federal government is giving state governments money to run these ranch programs and help herders transition to ranching. So, for example, Kwasari says Nasarawa will receive about 400 million naira. And this raises a question of whether this is the best use of federal funds at this time. But, it's a huge conversation because those in favor say that given all the disruption and insecurity caused by some herdsmen fighting farmers and landowners, it makes sense to create a new way of life for herders in general. But those who oppose it say that cattle rearing na private business. Government should not be bailing out these businessmen for failing to modernize. Definitely not to the tune of 500 million naira per state. And they also ask, well, why the cattle business above any other business? Now, supporters will say, beef is a vital food in Nigeria, but opponents will say other foods are important as well. Take bread, for example. Lots of households eat bread. It's a staple for children. But bread prices are rising. On Balogun and Broad today at 5 o'clock, we're talking about some of the reasons why bread prices are rising. Bakers say that it's because the price of flour is skyrocketing. So someone could ask, why has government decided that cow business deserves hundreds of millions in government funds instead of, say, the bread business? So that's one of the arguments. What other arguments do you have? What do you think, Lagos? Let me know. 0700-993-993-993. You can also reach out via Facebook. Facebook is Nigeria Info 99.3. It looks like I can't reach WhatsApp anymore. I don't know what's happening with that. But if you can, keep sending your messages there and we'll do our best to take them on the live show. We're streaming live on Facebook, though. If you leave us a comment on Facebook, we'll definitely take it on the live show. Facebook is Nigeria Info FM. We're streaming on YouTube as well. YouTube is Nigeria Info 99.3. Oluwashola is in Bariga. Hello, Oluwashola.
Hello, how are you?
I'm very well.
Yeah. I think, let me start from IPOP issue.
Okay.
The IPOP, I don't know, there are two options for the government. But with what I can see now, the government prefer to use force than to listen. And if we are behaving as if what is happening in our country does not have solution. And there is solution. Government cannot continue using force on people. If we are saying democracy is for the government of the people by the people. But since it's changing now, military, everywhere, army, everywhere, even military. We need to rethink.
Okay.
The cow, something they want to invest on. I think there's something into the. Me, I don't eat cow, long ago. But some other people don't eat. But this is a private business. Why do they want to use? Why do they continue doing this? A lot of children don't have what to eat. Yes, cow. There's something to do. I think we need to tell our government because they say there's no money. They want to go and borrow money and start giving it out for the cow. Business, private business. We should reject it. Enough of just keep silent. Allow government to do whatever they like on us. Thank you.
Thank you, Luashola, for calling and saying all of that in 1 minute. We've got a message here. You didn't leave your name, but you say that agitation in a democratic nation is never a crime. Nigeria government started this by the level of marginalization that they intentionally impose in that region. But that's the thing. Every region will say that they're marginalized. Babaji in Badagry, welcome.
Yeah, Sandra.
Yes.
My name is Babaji, calling from Badagry. I think yesterday we discussed about this and we are expounding it. Let me talk about the same IPO.
Okay.
People spitting fire, they should stop it, election must take place. Let me say this. Even if you don't like the leader of IPOP, I, for one, am not a fan of Nnamdi Kanu, but I can be a fan of Biafra as a whole, if you ask me, the agitation. And if you look at what is going on, you will understand that after the Civil War, I think it was Gowon that said, no victor, no vanquish. And we now understand the 3R, if I remember them, reconstruction, rehabilitation, and restitution. Where are we today? I think if you ask me, after the Civil War, within 6 years, military strike again, before we have full civilian regime from 1999. And Obasanjo tried his best. I'm not a politician. I'm not a fan of Obasanjo. He carried everybody along. That is restitution. And from Yaradua, something happened in Niger Delta. Was it not Yaradua that called everybody to round table? Come to Jonathan. Jonathan carry everybody along. But look at this government. You see the youth. They are telling you that we will not take it any longer. How can you have two states from the north with 71 local governments? Look at the entire southeast. 5 states. How many local governments? If you add one state in the north to that 2 states, you will understand that they will veto the entire southeast. What is happening? I said it yesterday. If you want to travel abroad now, you must come to Lagos, Abuja, or somehow Kano. You cannot travel international flights precisely direct from the southeast. What is happening? Are we not in the same Nigeria? I'm not a fan of Nnamdi Kanu. But if you look at what is going on, if you don't like him, maybe I listen to his broadcast, I don't like his broadcast. But if you look at the agitation, whether you like it or not, majority of the youth from the southeast, they are with IPOB.
All right. Thank you, Baba G, for calling. We'll give you extra time there. Ernest is in Orile. Hello, Ernest.
Hello. Good afternoon, Sandra.
Good afternoon. Welcome.
Yeah, what I want to say concerning IPOP and the government is this. Some people are saying election must hold, election must hold. The people that is coming to vote are they going to give them bulletproof? Why would the election hold? Who will the people in Anambra listen to? Is it the IPOP or the federal government that cannot give account of anything if anything happened? People are saying they'll vote. Is it Hausa or Yoruba? Is it them that is going to vote? Is it not the citizen, Anambra citizen is going to vote do the election? Let them come out and dialogue with IPOP. Ask them what is the problem. If government and IPOP dialogue, then the election will hold. What is there? What are we dragging?
All right.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much, Ernest. We'll take a final call from Blessing. After Blessing, let's go to WhatsApp and take messages there. Hi, Blessing.
Yeah. Good afternoon, Sandra.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, please let me start from what your analysis when you were starting this IPOP thing and the Hanese. I think as long as the Mieti Allah in the north that said in 2019 that if the Southeast does not give them land to occupy, that the Southeast will boil. And the Southeast is boiling now. That people, those people or that faction that made that statement, that Mietiala has not been prescribed. Nothing has happened. And Southeast is boiling now. And then you come down, and then somebody has said that Nnamdi Kanu made and you are saying it, Sandra. You said that he made some inciting
statements,
comments, and so on. The comments from the Mietiala, many comments from the Mietiala that have been inciting, yet they have not been prescribed. So I think as far as the Southeast is concerned, the Hanese and the Igbo, it's not IPOB is not prescribed for them. It is ours.
All right.
So you can't kill what is yours and keep what is you can't go and kill another one and tell that person to kill his own.
Blessing, thank you very much for calling. Now, when she mentioned that thing, I started doing a Google search for any time that Mieti Allah did what Blessing is alleging, and I can't find it. So if you can find it, send it to me via WhatsApp. Otherwise, disregard that because it doesn't seem to me that Mieti Allah made such a threat in 2019. Now, how you know whether a news report is true or not are the national dailies carrying it. I'm talking about some fringe blog somewhere. I'm talking about the actual national dailies or reputable media organizations. The reason I'm saying actual national dailies or reputable media organizations is because these people are professionals. These people will write those stories professionally. These people will have actual sources that they're quoting in their stories. That's not to say that Mieti Allah has not made statements that some would consider inciting in the past, but I don't know that they made this particular statement that Blessing is claiming that they made in 2019. Let's go to WhatsApp. WhatsApp is 080-959-75805. So many messages there. Good Lord. This one here is NTA. NTA says, let there be other transformation programs for mechanics who need land to operate, food sellers, educationists, any other personal business ideas. Why only cows? All right. More messages here. Sandra Bola. Okay, no, that's an old message. Federal government should dialogue with IPOB. Police doesn't wear uniform in the southeast. Oscar from Surulere with that message. We have this one here that says, the average employer or one-man business doesn't think of employee having continuity with them. All right. So here's what's going to happen. We'll take a break. When we come back from this break, we'll keep taking the messages we have on WhatsApp. I'm Sandra Ezekwesili. This is Hard Facts on 99.3 Nigeria Info. Don't go away.
and sports after this.
No more panicking and no more worry, 'cause we be with you in a flash. In a flash. We deliver right on time, in no matter if you're close or far. Get in the car, okay. Get in the cooking gas, get in the cooking gas, get in the cooking gas. Anytime you want them, we come in a flash. Every day in a hurry, no waste of time. Pick up your phone and download the app. Flash gas. We get in the flash gas. We get in the cooking gas on the go. We get in the flash gas. We get in the cooking gas on the go. Everybody get the flash gas.
For cooking gas on the go, download the Flash Gas app, available on Google Play and App Store.
Available only on the island.
You are listening to your number one station for talk.
Your number one station for talk.
99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.
All right, let's take a look at this message. You didn't leave your name, but you say, did the federal government stop the government of Southeast to make their region unique and developed? We have a democracy where even state governments have started to dodge their responsibility and blame federal government. Now they've succeeded. It's now the federal government that's feeling the heat, and they're loving it. When last did you hear of constituency projects delivered by Southeastern leaders? They just want to shift blame. The IPOP group is now faceless, and the federal government or individuals in the presidency are ready to treat them like criminals. The group already has cultists that have used the opportunity to put fear in people. The main IPOB has already said there should be no seat at home unless on days that he's going to court. The people causing problems are mainly criminals and cultists. Okay, let's take a look at more messages here. Chinedu Nagege says, for me, Ohanese's call is in order. IPOB should reconsider their sit-at-home threats. Election is a constitutional matter and should not be subverted. I call on both political and traditional leaders to find a way around this problem. Sandra, I agree to you. If I may ask, I heard that Ojukwu wanted to separate Nigeria. That was what led to civil war in 1967. What was the injustice then done to the Southeast that made late Ojukwu want to separate Nigeria? The agitation in the Southeast, to me, is not about injustice, but rather tribal sentiments and selfish aim. Well, this is what happens when we don't teach history anymore. So it's a long story, but the very short version is that there was a coup. There was a first coup, and the coup was led by soldiers, young soldiers, mostly of Eastern descent. And a lot of the soldiers who were killed were the military leaders who were killed, the political leaders who were killed. A lot of the ones who were killed were of the northern extraction. When this happened, reprisal attacks began to happen in the north, and those reprisal attacks were targeted at mostly Igbo people. When lots and lots of Igbo people were dying during these attacks in the north, and the government at the time, the federal government, was doing nothing to help Igbo people who were getting killed in the north, Ojukwu then decided to step in and do something to help his people. And so he started to send vehicles to the north to evacuate Igbo people who wanted to return to the southeast. And everybody who was not, northern or Yoruba, obviously Yoruba was considered eastern. So it didn't matter if you were Benin, it didn't matter if you were Delta, it didn't matter if you were Akwa Ibom, it didn't matter if you were Oyo, so that happened. So that was the injustice that led to Ojukwu saying, you know what, so a lot of things happened in between. I'm just giving you the very summarized version. Now, but all of that led to the point where Ojukwu said, okay, since the country doesn't want to treat this part of Nigeria like Nigerians, we're going to secede from the country, and that's what led to 3 years of civil war that was very rough for both sides. Rougher for the Easterners than it was for the Northerners, but really rough because war is war and nobody benefits when there's a war. And after the war, restitution didn't go very well, and so it's led to a lot of resentment. If you sit down and talk to older Igbo people, you hear the resentment for what happened after the war ended. Now, of course, Igbo people rebuilt. They found a way to build back, kind of like the world building back better post-COVID, but they found a way to do that. But you've continued to find more and more voices in the Southeast continue to repeat that, we have not been treated right, even though we have been reintegrated with the larger country, Nigeria. That's also not mentioning the fact that during the war, Biafra also committed its own atrocities against people of the Niger Delta. So some people in the Niger Delta did not want to be a part of Biafra, and those people were called Sabo. Those people were treated terribly, made to drink their crude, made to all kinds of insufferable stuff, So there's crimes on all sides of the divide. It depends on whose story you're listening to at every point. I wish I had more time to stay on the subject, but we don't. We do have to bring you the business news, and after that, glass ceiling. I'm Sandra Ezekwesili. Don't go away.
It's 4 o'clock. 4 o'clock.